Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello everybody, welcome to Quick Bang. I'm Matty, talking to you today after Hibs have won 4-0 away to Stranraer to progress to the Scottish Cup quarter-final. Charlie, you're up first, mate. What was your take on the game?
Brilliant, mate. Delighted to get through, and think we can go all the way now. 2 away games, 2 wins. The next round's the home one against Motherwell. So I thought we were brilliant. Second half, we looked a lot better than we did first half. I thought we were pretty slow to start again, but delighted that we won.
What stood out for you today?
I think just seeing him rotate the squad a wee bit was the big thing. I think seeing McGuinness play for the start was brilliant. Thought Macy looked good again. Good to see the 3 boys up front scoring as well. So all-round brilliant performance from me.
Nice one. We've got you talking about like fancying our chances of getting through to the latter rounds. I don't know if any of you were listening to the BBC commentary where he says no matter what some people say, one of Rangers and Celtic is going out today. I thought, who's going to be arguing that? Like they're playing each other, so surely nobody's saying they're both going out. So decent run in. Jimmy, what was your take on the game, mate? You need to come off mute, Jimmy. We can't hear you.
Yeah, that's much the same as Charlie. I mean, slow but very professional again. Passed the team off the park. You know, these teams are there to. They've got nothing to lose. The Stranraers and the Queen of the South, you know. And Hibs played some nice passing, you know, and pass these teams off the park rather than getting kicked to pieces and making it a scrap. And I was talking to a playing golf just about an old Hibs supporter, and he was saying to me, you know, it's games like this, could there possibly be a banana skin? And I said to him, I said, the difference between the Heckingbottoms and the Jack Ross. Jack Ross is very, very, very methodical with his team selections and passes, whereas Heckingbottom would have got into a scrap there. And we probably would have, there was a chance we could have got beat. And that's the difference between the Ross and the Heckingbottoms. Ross, he's very, very, very clued up. Good performance, professional, through to the next round, and we'll see where it takes us.
I think we've got a right good consistency performance. We've talked about it on the podcast a few times under Jack Ross that we seem to be able to play at a really good level quite consistently.
Yes.
Not every game because we've seen some shockers, but by and large, like a performance like the day wasn't a surprise. Once we hit our groove, you know, we looked at a level above.
Sorry, Matt, and a shocking pitch as well, mate. You know,
Aye.
we've had two shocking pitches where, you know, like Queen of the South and Stranraer. So, hey, good performance, delighted.
I saw somebody say on Twitter that it looked like the ball was running along the surface of the moon. Dave, what were you? What was your take on it?
Same as the guys have said, a very professional performance. It was good to see the high tempo from the beginning, to be honest. I know it took like 10 minutes to get the passes going properly, but again, that was down to the pitch. But we really got at them from the very start, which was good to see. Front three were outstanding today. I thought their movement was really, really good. I know Nisbet has missed a bucket load, but you know, he's got himself in those positions. You know, he could have had 5 or 6 a day, to be honest, but I don't mind strikers occasionally missing chances, you know, as long as they're getting in the position. And in midfield, once we actually started using the midfield, because again, we're a bit too easy to bypass the midfield sometimes. And my only disappointment was Newell today, who I think didn't have the impact that he should have had in a game like that. I'm wanting him receiving that ball from the centre backs and then just getting it forward and finding space and all the rest of it. And he didn't do that enough. Maybe, you know, the pitch isn't for him in that kind of situation, but certainly that was the only negative for me. As the guy said, Macy I thought was great. He was only called upon a couple of times, but for me, we sign him. I think it's a no-brainer. We sign him. I think he's quality, absolute quality. I think he's as good as the guy we're about to let go. So I would put him in there.
And what did you make of McGuinness's performance? Obviously, he came in for Gogic today. How did you?
So it was interesting. I'm sure a few people read the forum when we're watching the game as well and all the rest of it. And some people are absolutely slating him, saying, he's no touch the ball, he's rubbish. He's obviously been put in a certain position. So you're playing with that midfield three, but he was really wide, especially in the first half, which was for a reason. He's obviously been put out there to try and create space for the other players. Because what it should have been, when you saw it a bit more in the second half, is when you tuck in a bit more central, you get him on the ball a bit more. He's not a left winger. He's never going to be a left winger in a million years. But what we did do by having him out there was create loads of chances for Doig to overlap and all the rest of it. I thought they hooked up really well. So, yeah, I'm happy with the McGuinness initial performance. I would like to see him more central, and we'll see what happens over the coming games and over next season. But I've got no issue with that performance at all. Very good, very good.
Sorry, I'm butting in here, but Dave, I
again,
think I know that's what I do. But Dave, that point you make about McGuinness, folk just like to make a judgment early so they can come back in 6 months' time and say, "See, I told you so." But if they're wrong or when they're wrong, you'll not hear from them. They do it all the time.
I mean, it's not like he's drew right. You know what I mean? So I mean, look at the positives.
Well, we'll talk about Jay Wright in a wee bit. Tracy, what was your take on it?
So when I come off mute, yeah, no, I thought, just like everyone said, it was a real good performance, professional performance. Stranraer were never going to lie down to us from the start. They did defend really well. Thought their goalkeeper had some really good saves in the first half, especially. Don't think Macy was really troubled until about the last 10 minutes. I think the kit man thought he was coming in with a clean kit until then. I don't know if anybody noticed that he lost an inch in height as well. He was 6'7", and then he was 6'6".
That's Stranraer for you, by the way. Did he trust the place?
I know,
he knocked
feet off him as well. But yeah, no, I think, and it's great seeing. I just love the Doig Nisbet partnership, and I think we're starting to see that again. And I think it sets us up good for the last few remaining games as well that we've got in the league. So I think that partnership coming together again. Boiler's back as well. So I'm surprised he never got booked for a dive with a challenge late in the second time.
The referee probably thought about it.
I know. So it was good to see that he actually got, it was a foul against him for a change. But yeah, no, great performance. Can't fault the lads. Nice to see McGuinness get some time on the pitch as well. And it was good to see your Stevenson coming on as well. He was able to change things up because we had done what we needed to do. So
you mentioned Stevenson there. There was a moment just towards the end of the game, last couple of minutes, where Stranraer were attacking and Stevenson kind of chucked himself at a shot. And you think it's really good. The team's 4-0 up at that point. It's the dying moments of the game, but they're still happy to chuck their bodies on the line to kind of keep the clean sheet. So
and I think it was poor Rory that was on the end of it.
Did you see his interview at half-time?
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. He's a good young lad. Yeah, but I think he's great. His take on life's just great as well. So he loves the game, and I hope he does well at Stranraer.
Good to see. Andy, what about you, mate? What was your take on it?
I thought we were solid, but in the first half we were pretty frustrating with Nisbet's misses. I think he's got to gamble more. For me, he's just got to. Well, there was the one for Doig straight across the goal. Yep. He sticks a toe out, it's in the back of the net, and then the one that Boyle sent over where he sends it wide, he takes it actually off the toe of Doig, because he was going to sweep it into the back of the net. I just think he needs to either, really, really go for it, as in gamble properly, stick his body in the way, and that's away. Two of them are away, straight away. I found what Dave was saying earlier spot on. Again, I actually wrote a couple of notes, being professional and all that. McGuinness, if he had just moved inside a wee bit more, the channel would have been free and open. And you've seen that a couple of times where he just danced around on the inside and he was away up the inside, the outside of the wing. So yeah, solid, but frustrating in the first half. But as we said earlier, second half we passed them off the park. Apart from that 10-minute onslaught that they had after they conceded the third goal, I thought Hibs controlled it right across the park.
as what we said earlier as well about Newell was a wee bit of he was lost for some of the game, and I think if he had put his foot on the ball a couple of times and released a couple of players a wee bit earlier, then instead of the square ball, we would have been on the end of more goals. But I think as I said to you, I was in the middle of my social update when Dodge stuck it away, so I was that's what was going to happen. It was a scrappy goal that was going to open the floodgates, and then we were going to see it out, no problem.
It was actually a cracking finish for Dodge away. When you see, although it was the build-up was scrappy, his actual technique to put it away was fantastic.
Aye.
Just kind of swiveled and volleyed it in. Nice one, Kaiser. What about you, mate?
I think for the get-go, Jack Ross got his tactics spot on today. Took the scrap right out of Stranraer. Obviously instructed the players to keep the ball down, and it was nice football. It was nice to watch, and as the guys are saying, games like that are a potential banana skin. It was good to see. It's good to see the goals, a few misses and stuff like that. But I thought their keeper, if Martin Boyle didn't get man of the match, their keeper was going to get it. I thought he pulled off some top class saves, and David Monroe as well. I slated Don the Con last week. David Monroe was 100% for me today. What a refereeing performance. I feel like trying to get a hold of that video and sending them. I'm saying how to ref a match, yeah, FUD. But no, it was all in all good. On to Motherwell, but I think with these, kind of get to same with the league, kind of get too ahead of ourselves. Got to take it all one game at a time, because we've been here with Motherwell before, we've been here with Aberdeen before, it's with Livingston before, and it's squeaky bum time for the Hibs.
Aye, we can't take anything for granted. What did you think of Jay Wright when he came on? We mentioned him earlier on.
I don't really like to talk about Jay Wright, to be honest with you, but I think he just if he's going to rotate the games, I mean, it's against Stranraer, so I don't know. I mean, can you judge a performance for him if he's playing against Stranraer? He needs to come into a game. Maybe this is a time for him to do it, but for what we've seen from him through the season, he's just been ranked rotten, isn't he? So, no, to me, he was not bad, but I say I don't rate Jay Wright as a player, and I don't see what he brings to us as a squad.
It's an interesting thing. I think we talked about it after the last game about the health and the state of the squad at the moment. Like, we've got pretty much everybody available. I'm not sure if Boyle was booking the day. Did that take him out of the next round? Does anybody know? Boyle picked up a yellow card. I wasn't sure if that means he misses the Motherwell game or if he'll be all right for it.
There was nothing mentioned about when he got his card. These commentators always say out the next game, but no, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have trusted the commentators to say it, because they would keep going on about us losing semi-finals. So
did you hear Mikey Stewart or not going on about Boyle? I mean, we went through a really bad patch there, and he wasn't getting goals in that. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, what have you been watching, mate?
Aye, mental. Colin.
Yeah.
What was your take on it, mate?
I thought it was easy. Made it look easy. Should have had a lot more goals. Wasteful again. I've said it a couple of times now. Wasteful. Nisbet could have had a hat trick in the first, or should have had a hat trick in the first half, because he had the two tap-ins, but then he had the header as well. It was pretty rubbish header, no pressure on him. Sounded like I'm moaning after a 4-0 win, but I just think we could have had 10. Could have had 10. I thought their goalie obviously was good as well. We could have had the subs on earlier, got Boyle off, so he didn't maybe get booked, so he didn't get any knocks or that. We didn't need to keep him on. 2-0 up, it was safe, it was done. But I thought it was good. The only thing that annoyed me was see the manager shouting at the touchlines. How what are they shouting? Like, if they've not coached them all week, so they came out there every day and on a Saturday, what they're shouting is mark him, kick it, tackle him. Like, they must know by now what they're meant to do.
Aye. I think they just some of them just shout so that the commentators have got something to apologise for.
Couple of them, eh?
Aye. I noticed you get this, and you notice it with the when they fans in, but the amount of screaming and stuff that players and coaches do whenever there's a tackle, and you're like, that can't be normal to shout like that for folk. Like, imagine going at your day and you see an incident and you just you start screaming about it.
Imagine you in the call centre. Answer it. You know what I mean? It's mad, and that's what it's so infuriating. It's like I said a couple of times. It's more noticeable at some games. I don't know if it's the smaller grounds or what, but come on, if you've not taught them all week what they're meant to do, like they must know they're meant to kick the ball in that. Again, it's mad.
Head it's the other way. The ball's coming high.
Again, what I did hear though, I don't know if you noticed, there was one with Doig, and I'm sure they shouted Doogie, and I thought, is that like one of them?
So.
Listen to the podcast.
It's you get that like managers stating obvious, and the BBC done it as well. One of them said sometimes you don't always get the early goal, but you have to keep going. So that's great fucking insight. You imagine you're a player, you're going, that's 10 minutes, lads, we've not scored. Just give it up.
He'll be disappointed with that came out the day, and you're like, well, good,
great.
thanks.
Ray, what was your take on it? By the way, loving your top.
I know, I was going to say that actually. Sorry,
it's a cracker,
It's wrong though, because it shouldn't have that, isn't it? That's why the purple one came out.
There you go.
Right. Was that the late 70s or something, that one, eh?
It's 75, round about that.
And it still fits. Amazing.
Your Schiller screen behind you.
I've lost a lot of weight.
You're breathing in.
Anyway, what do you think of the game?
Well, there's not a lot I can say that hasn't been said already. The question that I think was answered that everyone was asking before the game was, are the hairdressers open in Stranraer? And it would appear from there, number 5 was definitely.
We lost you for a second there, but I think we got the gist of your question.
Well, were the hairdressers open in Stranraer? The answer to that question is evidently no. We're going by their number 5. Also, I thought that their goalkeeper was outstanding. I mean, to be playing that length of time with a neck brace on was incredible. It was like Bert Troutman. Well, that's about it, because everyone said everything else. I thought that despite Nisbet's misses, his movement was outstanding. He got himself in all the right places. He just never finished his chances that he should have finished. McGuinness, as Dave said, just needs to come inside a wee bit because he's no winger. We were great. We should have scored more. We never, but it was job done. If I've got any complaints at all, I think someone else said it. We could have probably taken Boyle off and maybe Nisbet off and given them just essentially wrapped them in cotton wool for 15 minutes. Just make sure nothing happened. But it was a fantastic performance.
Everybody mentioning Nisbet's misses. Does anybody remember Michael Moses' misses?
She was a Martian.
Right. Just we've got a couple of minutes just before we wrap up then, so I'll go round the table and we'll get predictions for the Livingston game on Wednesday night. So Charlie, you're up first. How's Wednesday night going?
If I'm going with my head, I think we'll win, but if I'm going with my heart, I think we'll draw.
All right, so we'll put you on the fence then.
I think two each. Two each.
Jimmy?
Hibs will win 2-0.
2-0. I like that. I like that one better. Dave?
It'll be 3-1 because that guy Sybil will score.
I always
right,
scores.
so.
We're at Easter Road on Wednesday.
Which is worrying.
But I always fancy
better away,
against Livy. I always fancy us the Easter Road more than the day at Almonville. But you're right, it's not necessarily been that kind of season, has it? Tracy, what about you?
I didn't normally like to predict because I normally jinx them.
All right.
But I would say
Livy will win.
But I would say I win. I think we will win it. I think if he plays Doig and Nisbet, practically the team that he's played today, maybe he might need a Gogic in there though instead, just because it can be a little bit physical with Livingston. But I do think we'll win it.
Good. Andy?
3-0.
The good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. And
I think Laidlaw should get a run out if we start scoring heavily.
That's good. Is that on a good time for you? An evening kick-off? Does that suit better?
Good time for me.
No.
Nothing's on it. This was pretty good this week, to be honest, but this is the first one in a long while. Any noon kickoffs for you guys is tops.
Decent.
It was 9 o'clock when 9:15 when it kicked off, so it's now 10 to 12.
Decent. Kaiser, how's it going on Wednesday?
I think I watched Livy and Aberdeen a bit yesterday, and that Jet Boy, their forward looks decent. Same again, I think my heart says Hibs will win, but my head says we're going to draw this and make coming into the end of the season as hard as we can for ourselves, because that's the Hibs way.
Squeaky bum time. Colin?
2-1. I reckon. They'll be a bit tired, I think, after last night as well. So hopefully.
That should help us. Like a kind of comfortable game for us, and then going to extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray, you can finish off then. What was the score going to be on Wednesday?
I fancy us for the win. I think it'll be a last-minute own goal from Big Marv.
We'll take that. Right, thanks very much for joining us today, guys. Thanks for listening or watching, depending on how you've seen this or heard it. We'll be back on, what day is this? We'll be back tomorrow on Longbangers, where we interview with Liam Fontaine, and then back with Shortbangers on Thursday. So we'll catch you then.
County line I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.